Welcome to the channel. Before we dive into this historical account that transcended the news to shape the very nation, how about helping us spread these stories that marked time? Like this video to give us a boost, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming dark episodes. Leave your comment with your impressions and theories, and share with your friends so more people can learn about these impactful cases. To understand the magnitude of the Lindbergh Baby Kidnapping, one must first comprehend the status of Charles A. Lindbergh Sr. He wasn't just an aviator, he was a global icon, a hero of mythical proportions. In 1927, Lindbergh flew solo across the Atlantic Ocean, an unprecedented feat that instantly transformed him into the most famous person on the planet. He was the Lone Eagle, a symbol of audacity, innovation, and the American spirit. The Jazz Age might have been one of excess, but Lindbergh represented an ideal of virtue and conquest. When Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr. was born in 1930, he wasn't just the son of a celebrity, but the prince of American royalty. Born from Lindbergh's marriage to Anne Morrow Lindbergh, also a talented aviator and daughter of an ambassador, the family lived in a newly built, secluded mansion in Hopewell, New Jersey, a refuge from constant media attention. At the height of the Great Depression in 1932, while millions of Americans faced unimaginable hardships, the Lindbergh family personified hope and the American dream. The public adoration for them was immense, making what was to follow even more devastating. The night of March 1, 1932, was an apparently quiet Tuesday at the Lindbergh residence. The family was home. Charles and Anne, baby Charles Jr. in his crib on the second floor, and the child's nurse, Betty Goal. After dinner, Charles Lindbergh Sr. was in his downstairs office, while Anne read in bed. Around 10 p.m., Betty Goal went to check on the baby. What she found froze her blood. The crib was empty, the covers were tidy, but the baby wasn't there. In a panic, she ran to notify Anne and soon after Colonel Lindbergh. An initial search of the house's rooms revealed nothing. When Lindbergh went to his son's room, he noticed that the window was open and a mud stain and footprints were visible beneath it. The most sinister discovery was a ransom letter left on the windowsill, written with grammatical and spelling errors, and in rudimentary English. The note demanding $50,000 for the baby's return was a chilling sign that the child had indeed been kidnapped. Outside in the garden, Lindbergh found a makeshift wooden ladder broken on the ground, indicating the method used by the kidnappers to access the baby's second-floor room. The coldness and audacity of the crime, invading the home of a national hero, shocked everyone. News of the kidnapping exploded. The Lindbergh's phone rang incessantly, and curious reporters and agents from various law enforcement agencies converged on the Hopewell mansion. The investigation, led by the New Jersey State Police and the FBI, still in its infancy as a federal agency, quickly became chaotic due to a lack of coordination, excessive interference from the public and media, and the unprecedented nature of the crime. The press transformed the case into an unparalleled spectacle. Blaring headlines, newspaper extras, and incessant radio coverage kept America and the world in suspense. Every false lead, every wild theory was amplified. The Lindbergh family was inundated with letters of sympathy, but also with millions of correspondences from charlatans, psychics, and fake kidnappers trying to exploit the situation. Even figures from the criminal underworld got involved. Gangster Al Capone, then in prison, offered his services to help find the baby in exchange for his freedom, an offer that was rejected. Many well-intentioned but naive intermediaries also tried to help, adding more layers of confusion to the already complex investigation. After more than 2 months of agony and frustrated negotiation attempts, the hope of the Lindbergh family and the nation was brutally crushed. On May 12, 1932, about 7 kilometers from the Hopewell mansion, a truck driver who had pulled over to the side of the road for a break accidentally discovered a small decomposed body in a wooded area. It was baby Charles Augustus Lindbergh. Jr. identification was confirmed by his pajamas and deformities known to the Lindberghs. The autopsy revealed that the child had suffered a fatal blow to the head at the time of the kidnapping, or shortly thereafter, likely during the fall from the ladder or after being struck. The body was superficially buried. This discovery transformed the kidnapping case into a murder case, plunging the family and the country into an even deeper and more desperate grief. Despite the tragedy, the investigation continued, now focused on identifying the killer. The crucial breakthrough came more than 2 years later. In September 1934, a man was arrested in New York after attempting to use a $10 gold certificate, which was part of the ransom notes paid to the kidnappers. The New Jersey State Police had serially marked a large portion of the ransom money, and this note was traced to a gas station in New York. The man was Bruno Richard Hauptmann, a German immigrant carpenter with no prior criminal history in the US, but with a record in Germany. A search of his garage revealed a large amount of the ransom money hidden, and later, other notes were found. But the evidence didn't stop there. The trial of Bruno Richard Hauptmann, which began in January 1935 in Flemington, New Jersey, became one of the greatest legal spectacles in American history. The small town was invaded by reporters, photographers, and curious onlookers. The courtroom was packed, and media coverage was relentless. The prosecution presented a mountain of circumstantial and forensic evidence. The ransom notes, hundreds of ransom notes, were found in Hauptmann's possession, and the serial number sequence matched the marked money. The ladder, the most incriminating piece, was the ladder found at the crime scene. Wood experts testified that the wood used in the ladder matched attic joists from Hauptmann's home, and that tool marks were identical to those of his tools. A specific piece of the ladder was traced to Hauptmann's attic, being a perfect match in terms of grain and wood characteristics. Handwriting. Handwriting experts attested that the handwriting on the ransom notes matched Hauptmann's. Key testimony. The man who mediated the ransom payment, Dr. John F. Condon, known as FC, identified Hauptmann as the person he met to deliver the money. Hauptmann insisted on his innocence, claiming the money had been left for him by a deceased business partner. However, his defense failed to convince the jury. After a trial lasting 5 weeks, the jury found him guilty of kidnapping and murder. Hauptmann was sentenced to death and executed in the electric chair on April 3, 1936. Despite the conviction and execution, some doubts about the totality of his guilt, or whether he acted alone, persisted over the years, maintaining a veil of mystery over the case for some. The kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby and its tragic outcome left a profound and lasting legacy in American history. The Federal Kidnapping Act, the Lindbergh Law. The most direct and significant impact was the enactment of the Federal Kidnapping Act in 1932. Before this case, kidnapping was not a federal crime if the perpetrator did not cross state lines. The law made kidnapping a federal crime if the victim was taken across a state border, giving the FBI more power to investigate these crimes and preventing kidnappers from escaping local jurisdiction. This law was crucial for strengthening the federal government's capacity to combat organized crime and other serious offenses. increased child safety. The crime shocked parents across America and led to a massive increase in concern for child safety. Many families implemented new security measures in their homes and were more cautious about protecting their children. Media fascination and celebrity criminology. The case solidified celebrity criminology, where crimes involving public figures or high-profile crimes become national and global obsessions. The intense media coverage of the kidnapping and trial set a precedent for how major crimes would be treated by the press in the future. Distrust and doubt. Despite Hauptmann's conviction, the element of doubt that remained for some contributed on a smaller scale to a growing distrust of authorities and justice systems, a feeling that would be deepened by future events. The Lindbergh Baby Kidnapping was not just a brutal crime. It was an event that marked an era, revealing the vulnerability even of the most idolized and driving legal changes that echo to this day. The image of an empty crib remains a somber reminder of one of America's most impactful mysteries. We've reached the end of another chilling account that left deep marks on history. The Lindbergh Baby Kidnapping is a case that continues to fascinate and generate debates about justice and safety. If you felt intrigued, moved, or pensive by this story, don't forget to like this video. Share it with your friends and family so more people can learn about this milestone. Leave your comment with your opinion and theories. And, of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next episodes. Your participation is essential for us to continue exploring the crimes that marked history.